everybody. It's Greg Luther, and I can't tell you how excited I am today. We actually have, as a guest today, Miss Irina Hill, who's one of the most recognized real estate agents in the Beverly Hills area. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Greg, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, and I'm curious to dig right in and learn a little bit about what it is you're doing that's getting such good results for your homeowners and for the buyers that you represent in the real estate world. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into the real estate world? I understand you were in another industry to begin with.
Yes, I've been a CPA for almost 20 years, and that's when I discovered that homeowners and home buyers are not getting the best representation. Some agents just did not do a good job for them. I decided to learn the craft and become a real estate agent myself.
Yeah, well, real estate is definitely a game of numbers, so I'm sure you were seeing a lot of the finance side as a CPA, and I know we were talking a little before the interview here that you'd even done some flip homes yourself and realized there was really a missing link there when it comes to buying a home. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. Before we buy a home with our clients, we make sure that the numbers work first. If it doesn't make sense or if it doesn't pencil out, regardless of how wonderful the home is, we just have to look for another one, because I want my people to be happy 5-7 years down the road when they call me.
Yeah, there's certainly no question. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. So as long as they're buying it correct. And, you know, depending on what the economy looks like, you might accidentally overpay for a house. So I think there's definitely a big benefit to the representation you have with your CPA background to make sure, hey, I'm in love with the house, but does this thing really make the best sense financially? Is that kind of the path that you take with them to make sure they have a blend of both?
Yes, of course. Yes, they have to love the house, but it has to make financial sense. Otherwise,
yeah,
there is a danger there, especially in Beverly Hills where the prices are so high. You have to be careful not to overpay.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about your marketplace. I know you sell Beverly Hills, but you kind of do the other areas as well. Tell us a little bit about your marketplace.
Well, Los Angeles is a very big city, and of course, Beverly Hills and all the adjacent areas. I represent people, anything people in Los Angeles would know, anything west and south of 101 and 405 intersection. But West Side Los Angeles is pretty much my playground.
Okay, very good. And I understand you were talking a little bit before we started here about target marketing and what that does not only for your home sellers but for buyers as well. Can you talk a little bit about what is that? What is target marketing and how does it work? How does that benefit the client?
Well, of course, with target marketing, we first identify the most opportune buyer for the house. We decide beforehand who will fall in love with this house, and then we buy a list of these people and we target them directly. Like, for example, if the house has a wonderful, one-of-a-kind wine cellar, we'll buy a list of people who are subscribed to Wine Connoisseur magazine or who have wine collections, and we'll go after these people directly. Or if the house has a 25-car garage, we'll definitely find a car collector, because they probably pay rental fees for off-site car storage somewhere.
Yeah, well, there's no question privacy's gone in America. Everybody knows, you know, if you own 5 cars, that list is readily available. If you're a wine collector, that list is readily available. And I know from a target marketing perspective, from what I've learned about it, you can also really target people based on the size of their family. So if it has 5 bedrooms, of course, that would much better fit a large family as opposed to maybe an older couple where their kids are already off to college may not be a good fit. Is that kind of how you would plug that target in as well?
Yes, we do that too. If it's a bigger house, sometimes we have a house with 3 separate wings, so we can find a multi-generational family where parents and children live together, and this way they can still move in one house but be somewhat separate.
Yeah, so like a mother-in-law suite or something that's a little bit separate but still living together to take care of each other.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's amazing with information available out there. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it.
Yeah. Well, and I actually had a stockbroker tell me one time, he said, if I had all of the access that real estate agents have for the data they need, I'd be making millions and millions of dollars. Real estate agents have so much access to a specific type of person, whether it's online or offline marketing. And I know you've really plugged into, let's take a look at this house. Who's probably the most likely buyer, and then let's go out and find as close as we can get, or that look-alike audience that you would be selling it to. And that's what you mean by that targeted or that direct marketing. Then you're marketing to them rather than like a magazine ad or a television show, hoping the random passerby would be interested.
Yes, magazines and televisions and newspapers, they're wonderful tools for advertisement, but it's a kind of passive approach. We hope that somebody will find us there. Instead, when we go directly to the potential buyers, it's like we are highlighting this house out of all the other houses available, and they just know. They sometimes even wouldn't be looking for a house, but once they get our advertisement in front of them, they would think, oh, I really want that house.
Yeah.
And that's how it all begins.
Absolutely. So that kind of shows the seller side of you representing someone that's selling their home. Let's talk about the buy side. You were telling me a little bit about how you use that target marketing approach with what you call the dream home finder. So let's say I want to buy a home in Beverly Hills, but I want a very specific type of home or a certain neighborhood or a certain school district. How would you go about that? Do you just run a search online like most realtors would, or how does that dream home finder work?
Well, I love our Dream Home Finder campaign. It's because it's so special and so exciting when you find a qualified buyer who knows exactly what they want. I want this neighborhood, I want big yard, I have 3 dogs and 2 children, and I want to have a tennis court. So we then find the houses, the homeowners who own these particular houses, and we approach them directly. We target them with our marketing saying, hey, we have a buyer. Would you consider selling the house on your terms?
So this is an off-market home then. It's actually not available online, Zillow or Realtor.com.
It might be available for sale, but more often it's not. And then we bring sellers and buyers together and we decide what time frame works for both of them, what price. Of course, we pay the market value, the top value for the house to the homeowners, just because the sellers love the house already. That's what they want. It's their dream home.
Yeah.
We found their dream home, so they're ready to move.
Yeah, and I would imagine a lot of home buyers actually take pride in saying that they're very picky on what they want.
Right.
They want a very specific type of house, and you almost feel a little let down when you're running searches online. I've looked myself for houses. If you're on Realtor.com, you're kind of stuck with the 13 or 15 houses that are within your price range, but it's the wrong area or the wrong style, or it looks really old. Whereas with your Dream Home Finder, it sounds like we could almost give you a wish list and you'll go out and find an on-market or off-market property that would match that then.
Yes, exactly. We actually ask people, write your wish list. Every item you want in a house, write it down so we know what to look for.
Yeah.
It makes our job actually easier, not harder.
Wow, yeah, you actually do find a dream home then.
Right.
That's, I know the last time I bought a property, it's almost like you have to settle for whatever's out there, find the best one of the 15 that match the criteria. This is much more of a off-market and targeted approach, I guess, would be the best way to look at it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And where do you run the Dream Home Finder? Do you do that like just Beverly Hills, or is it all surrounding areas, or?
We do it in all surrounding areas.
Okay.
Well, Beverly Hills, that's where we focus, but we can do it in Westwood, in Brentwood, and any wood area. And it depends on where the client wants to live.
Okay. And does that cost anything to the client?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't cost anything to the client.
Okay, so you invest all the money in finding that property, obviously for the goal of getting the normal real estate agent commission, but it's finding them that dream home that they want rather than just the, whatever's picked through online.
Yes, exactly. We don't want our clients to settle.
Okay, very good. And how long does the process usually take? If someone is selling their home, what would I anticipate price-wise? And I guess the question would be, as you go up in price, it probably takes longer to sell.
Yes.
And then what about buying a home? How soon should I get a hold of you if I'm looking to buy a home? Is this a 30-day process, a 90-day process?
Well, it all depends on your time schedule. Of course, the more time we have to find the house, the better. But I would think that once you start contemplating, like once you start putting your wish list together, thinking that, oh, maybe it's time to get a bigger house, just give us a call. We'll get to know you. We'll find out what your wish list is, and then we'll see how it works with the time. It's all up to the client.
Okay, very good. And then tell me a little bit about your homeowner service that you provide. You were telling us before we started here that you can not only tell a homeowner what their home's worth, but maybe even give them some professional tips on selling for more money. How does that process work? I would assume you need to see the home. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we normally come to the home. Of course, we have to see the home. We cannot give advice without seeing it. But often it's very small tweaks, very small adjustments people have to make. I've seen a lot of purple and pink bedrooms which have to be painted white or some other neutral color. Sometimes it's just removing the distractions, the things which would distract the buyers and would maybe drive them away.
So maybe decluttering
Decluttering,
or something like that,
yes. Sometimes maybe just fresh paint sometimes goes a long way. But often I see people spend a lot of money before they put the house on the market. They spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars on things which buyers look at and they say, oh, we need to get rid of all this. So it doesn't help, it hurts.
Yeah.
So we prevent that from happening.
And I would assume you have professionals you could refer to, because if you tell me to paint a bedroom, it probably takes about 3 to 6 months to get that done. So I would assume you could have somebody come in and knock it out in a day or two, and we're on the market. We don't miss the market that way, because the honey-do list can get kind of long.
Yes, of course. We don't want you. Well, some people love rolling up their sleeves and doing the work. If you are one of those people, fine, go ahead.
Yeah.
But if people have jobs, people have their lives, they don't have time to deal with housework. We bring our own people. We can bring cleaning crews. We can bring painters, handyman.
Much better than delaying 6 months.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a full service solution then. If they need a service provider of any sort, you can definitely refer a couple of professionals to get some quotes at least.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, very good. So if someone is looking to put their home on the market, if they are looking to sell, how far in advance should they get a hold of you for some of those tips that you would give on preparing the home?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, some people call me who think about selling their home a year from now, and some people are ready to sell tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. Just give me a call and
make do with whatever time we have available.
Yes, exactly. Yes, if you, I just received a call from a lady who doesn't know when she's going to sell the house, but we'll just see how long it's going to take her to fix the house up.
Yeah.
And we'll sell it.
Yeah.
When she is ready. And sometimes I get a telephone call saying, hey, I need to sell my house tomorrow. What can we do? So it's all depends.
Okay.
Again.
Very good. So it sounds like you just kind of find out where they're wanting to go, what time frame they're looking at, and then find the best solution for making that happen one way or the other.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Very good. And so tell us, if someone does want to reach you and wants to get some information, do you give free phone consultations to start? Do you usually have to meet them? How does that usually work? If someone's just a little bit curious, buying or selling, do you offer free phone consultations?
Oh, yeah, of course. If somebody just curious a little bit and wants to find out more about what we do, We can get to know people on the phone.
Okay.
Yes, we can do a Skype if they want to,
Okay,
or I
good.
can come out to the house.
Yeah, because you probably got some out-of-town people interested
Yes.
in moving to Southern California.
Yes, we have
Okay.
out-of-town people relocating, or we have people who are out of town and have a house in California. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Very
you
good.
can do it that way too.
Sounds good. Well, I got to tell you, it definitely sounds very exciting to, I guess, look at the target marketing on both sides. If you're selling a home, you'll likely sell your home for more money because it's going to the most opportune buyer. And then if you're buying a home, it gets you a very unique dream home finder opportunity. So it's a win-win both ways.
It's a win-win, and nobody is settling. It's the best situation.
So we actually have a real realtor on our side, somebody that's going to
Real
do a good
realtor,
job.
yes.
Okay, very good. Well, how can people reach you? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, you can give me a call or email me. Information is below, and or just shoot me a text, whichever one works.
Sounds good. Well, thanks so much for your time and the knowledge here today, Irina.
Oh, thank you, Greg, for having me here. It was a pleasure. Reach out to me if you have any questions.